Swami, respected elders, brothers, sisters, and dearest children, it gives me great honor to introduce our guest speaker for today, Dr. Mrs. Arul Srinivasan. Auntie is a long-standing devotee of Swami since 1968. She attended Bal Vikas with her mother, who was a Bal Vikas teacher, and also had the honor to conduct regular Sevadal duties at Puttaparthi. Her mother has also written several books on Swami, which were blessed by Swami over the years. Auntie's family held regular bhajans and Bal Vikas classes at their home. In 1982, after completing basic medical degree, Sister came to the UK to join her husband and attended Wimbledon Sai Centre with her daughter every Sunday. She has been an active member at Chelmsford Sai Centre since 1997, where she became Centre President in 2014. She's given several talks on Swami's teachings and personal experiences at various centres in the UK, and has supported medical camps held in Newham every year for the past 5 years. In 2018, Sister joined Dr. Upadhyay's team and has been attending medical camps internationally. In 2019, Sister became the Region 3 lead for the National Healthcare Committee and has recently given healthcare awareness talks to us. She is also involved with the Red Cross through the SSSIO UK Healthcare Committee, supporting as a consultant rheumatologist. Auntie is currently the Region 3 chair, and as you can hear, she's a very busy lady. So I thank you for joining us this morning. Mill Hill Centre welcomes you.
Thank you, Pari, for that wonderful introduction. I don't know how much of it I deserve. So it's lovely to be here with my Sai family at Mill Hill. And let me start. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva. Tvameva bandhu cha sakha tvameva. Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama sai deva. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan, respected elders, Sai brothers and Sai children. Sairam to you all. Brother Giridhar asked me to talk about my Sai experiences. I'm sure all of us have personal experiences with Swami, and we all would like to share that sometime. I was born in a very religious Hindu family. My grand-uncle knew Swami when Swami was 18, and he started going to Puttaparthi since 1947. So he used to be, those days Swami used to serve all his devotees, serve food to all his devotees. So he used to make my grand-uncle eat and eat more, and also he will advise him to have more milk, yogurt and ghee. He'll say, you're going to need it. Soon after that, my granduncle had tuberculosis, but needless to say, with Swami's blessing, he overcome the whole thing without any medication those days, and he lived till 78 years. So, but I started witnessing Swami's miracles when I was a schoolgirl. And once Swami gave a photo to an aunt of mine. And as we were not very sure about Swami still those days, she just hung the photo on top of the door as she didn't want to put Swami's photo in the shrine room. She had the habit of getting flowers every day, jasmine flowers in a string, and she used to put for all the deities in the puja room and keep a piece for herself. This happened every day as routine. But suddenly, this little piece of flower she kept for herself started to go missing. And after 4 days, she noticed that some dried flowers were falling on her head when she was walking across the door. Then when she looked up, it is from Swami's photo. All these flowers that was going missing for the past 4 days was there on Swami, because she didn't put the flowers for Swami and only for other photos in the shrine room. Soon after that, we had a Brahmin family who moved next door to us. They are very strong Vishnu devotees, and the grandmother started to witness Amrit, sweet rice, and payasam coming from Swami's photos. One day, when she was going through some troubles, she left a note for Swami under the photo, and she noticed the note had moved within about an hour. So when she opened it, it wasn't the letter that she wrote, it was the reply for her. So we all got quite excited. So we started writing letters to Swami and leaving it under his photos. And all of us had reply within an hour. Our questions were mostly, about our studies, whether we'll get good grades and those sort of questions. And Swami always replied that we'll only reap what we sow. Everything depends on our studies and all that. But this was a routine thing. We had replies to everything. My mom asked some personal questions and she had a fantastic reply from Swami as well for that. And then I think I'm going to move on to about 15 years later. So all of us get closer to Swami only when we have, troubles. And I think mine was about 15 years later. I started having some personal problems. And this is when I really got very, very close to Swami and became very devoted to Swami. Although at a younger age, when we were in school, my mother used to take us to for Swami's darshan in Chennai whenever Swami came to Abbotsbury, which was a wedding and conference venue, and to actress Anjali Devi's house, Leelama's house, and Leelama became a friend of my mother later, and also Mr. Venkatamuni's house. There was, I should mention especially Mr. Venkatamuni's house, because there used to be only about 15 to 20 people for the morning 4:30 a.m. darshan, when we all used to get ready from 3 o'clock and get there for 4, so that we'll be waiting for darshan. Because the numbers were so small that early, so Swami used to come and give Pada Namaskar to each one of us and also give us vibhuti. So that was how it was. And although my real love for Swami grew about 15 years later, we all come with the baggage when we come to this world. We bring our own karma. So I think it is very important that we take responsibility for our sufferings. Most of us do not lose faith. And that is the time we really need steadfast faith in Swami. We need to hold on to him. For some people, Swami will reduce the suffering and reduce the karma. For some people, he may even take away the karma. And this totally depends on the weight of the bag that we bring. But for all of us who pray to Swami during difficult times, we will be granted strength to cope with the situation, and also the situation will be modified to some extent. In the interest of time, I will move on another 25 to 30 years forward. And because I really need to speak about the blessings our family had received, especially my mother received from Swami. My mother was a Bal Vikas teacher, and she was also serving as a Sevadar in Puttaparthi. So she used to go regularly to Puttaparthi with the group to serve. As an army officer's wife, she used to write regular articles in the army magazine called Sainik Samachar in India. And also she used to write regularly articles in Sanatan Sardi. Mom had also written books on Swami. In 1991, it was published in Puttaparthi with Swami's blessings. And in the 90s, in the mid 90s, my mother came to live with me in the UK after my father passed away. And she lived with me till 2014 when I lost her. So around in June 2009, in Chelmsford Sai Centre, we started learning Vedam in 2008. So we were still practicing and learning at that time in 2009. During our centre bhajans, my mother took the mic to start chanting Ganapati Pratna. And she noticed Vibhuti was pouring from her right hand. And there were about 40 to 50 people in our Chelmsford Sai Centre at that time. And then she quickly moved the mic to the left hand, and she started getting Vibhuti from her left hand. So I was sitting at her feet on the floor. So she said, oh, Ma, I'm getting Vibhuti coming from, and before I could turn, Vibhuti was splashed all over her body, neck downwards. She was wearing a purple sari, which was covered with Vibhuti. And this happened within seconds, actually. So, at that time, I thought this was a blessing from Swami. And I was we were all very, very pleased in the center to see Mum, sort of getting Vibhuti from her body. So, and 2 weeks later, Mother had a fall in her own room, hit her head on the radiator, and had a severe spinal cord injury in the neck. So she was completely paralyzed, neck downwards, where Swami actually sprayed the Vibhuti on her. And in her right hand is where the Vibhuti came first. So she was, of course, the ambulance came and took her to the hospital. And this is where I work. So when I looked at the MRI scan with the orthopedic surgeon, I was horrified. She had 3 broken vertebrae in the neck, and spinal cord was cut off almost completely there was only 1 millimeter sticking. And if that gets cut off, and my mother will lose her life. So I was absolutely, how when it is your own mother, how, even though you're a doctor and working in that field, still it just takes you completely. And the orthopedic surgeon said, the only thing that we can do is to save her life, because, the cord is cut almost completely. So he said, we cannot transfer her to Queen's, which is in Romford, for the neurosurgery. We have to start, somehow or other, restrict her head movement. So Mum had screws put in her head and in her shoulders, and like a cage, iron cage. So she can't move. Even that was a big surgery for an over 80-year-old. So she had that. And that night I couldn't sleep. I came home late, and I was thinking the next morning, anytime I might get a call that Mum's gone, if that 1 millimeter goes. So when the next day, my brother arrived from Canada the next day. So we were there, and the day after, again, we were there at 7 a.m., my brother and I, and Mum was all smiles. Mum could speak because it was neck upwards. She was absolutely fine. It is where the Vibhuti is where she was completely paralyzed. And she said, Swami came in my dreams. I was pleased that Mum was happy. And she said, Swami's, I was like a rag on the floor, she said. And Swami came and bent towards her and said, get up. Mum said, I don't know where my legs and arms are, and I don't have any feeling below the neck level. So how will I get up, Swami? And he bent forward and said, give me your hand. And Mum didn't know where her arm was. So she said, I don't know where my arm is, Swami? How can I give you my hand? So he bent further forward, held my mom's right arm and pulled her up gradually and stood her up, patted her back and said, see, you're standing now. And then he said, now you can walk. And mom still didn't know, where her arms and legs were. And she said, how can I walk, Swami? And Swami held both her hands and walked her a few steps. And so mom was naturally extremely happy to get this dream. But the minute she told the dream, as a doctor, you only think scientifically. I was thinking, this is so not possible, Swami. Why did you give mom this hope? So little faith, I was thinking. Why did you give this hope to mom? I was really, really frightened for mom. But lo and behold, Swami's words and Swami's actions will never falter. So the next day onward, she started moving her big toe in her right foot and then the left foot. She could move her legs a little bit and she did start to walk. But her right arm was completely flaccid. Again, we had another MRI, discussed it with my colleague, the orthopedic surgeon, and we both decided, because that area of the cord is completely cut, severed, so it's not going to join back now. So she's not going to get the right arm function, but she will be able to, walk a little bit. But she won't, without holding the frame or a walker, she can't really walk very well because the right arm is flaccid. So even that was quite upsetting. And one day, our brother Sai Shankar, whom we unfortunately lost recently, brought his brother who had come from India to see mom in the hospital. And his brother was saying, Swami has done so much for you, so now you just have to ask him that he should give your arm strength back so that you can write Om Sairam as many times as you can and take it to Puttaparthi. Because mom loved writing. She used to write prayers and give to everyone in the Sai Centre. She just loved writing. And so mom and all of us took that vow that mom, if my mom's hand gets back to normal, mom will start writing Om Sai Ram and we'll take it to Puttaparthi. And then lots of things happened and mom came home, slow recovery. And in 6 months, she got her arm strength back and she started writing completely as she used to write without any problem. Although she regained about 90% of power and strength in her right hand, writing was not affected and most movements were not affected. Only she couldn't lift the shoulder up above her head. So we were actually very, very pleased with her progress. And a year later, in October, Sai Shankar was going to India. So he said, in his dream, Swami came and said, Amma hasn't written the Om Sai Ram that she was supposed to be writing. So Sai Shankar asked us, and then, mom was really upset that she forgot about it. And she started writing day and night. She wrote over 10,000 Om Sai Rams, like Likita Japa, in about 20 sheets of paper within 3 days. And that Thursday, we had a home bhajan in Sister Madhu's house. Sai Shankar was coming there and he was leaving Friday morning for India to go to Puttaparthi and to see his family. So he was coming. So we decided we'll take it to Sister Madhu's house and then he'll collect it there. So I left the folded sheets in an A5 envelope on Swami's Padukas in the shrine room. The next day I went to work, came back late. I always rush for these bhajans when I come back from work. So mom was already ready. And then I said, oh, I'll collect the envelope. When I went there, the envelope was not there. It was completely covered with kumkum. Mom is a person who is not, she never gets too excited, too sad. she sort of maintained an equanimity nature really for anything. So she looked at it and she said, "Oh, Swami has blessed it. So what you need to do is get a Ziploc envelope and put it without disturbing the kumkum inside put the envelope inside the Ziploc and we can take it." And that's what we did. And we took it, put it at the altar in Sister Madhu's house, and Dr. Sai Shankar collected this. He kept it in the passenger seat when he went home. But when he got to his house, he couldn't lift that packet, which is only an A5 envelope with 20 sheets of A4 paper. And he just couldn't lift it. He tried to shift it. He just couldn't do it. But with the help of his wife Bharati, who came down, they both managed to lift this little packet and take it to their shrine room and left it there. And that night, Sai Shankar couldn't sleep because he was getting very worried. In his assumption, it was around 20 kilos, the envelope. So he was thinking he already had enough luggage to take the next morning, and how he can put this 20 kilos in his hand luggage. So he was praying to Swami, "Swami, how am I going to bring this packet? Because it is so heavy now." And Swami, and the compassionate Bhagavan, the next day it was light and Sai Shankar managed to take it to Puttaparthi. Now, moving on, in 2010, Mum wanted to go to Puttaparthi for Swami's birthday. It's been a long time since we went for Swami's birthday celebration to Puttaparthi. So we decided we'll go, and also two other sisters from Chelmsford Sai Centre, Sister Indra and Sister Ushi, were coming with their families as well. But they all went early because of the leave. I wanted to save the leave. I had planned to go just the day before, which was very, very bad planning. Mum was 83 years at that time, and we arrived in Chennai by 3 a.m. Went to my sister's house. Mum was completely shattered and tired, and the whole day she slept. She didn't eat much. She didn't want to eat much with the travel, and mind you, just the previous year she had this major neck injury, so muscles are all not that strong. Although she was walking, and she climbed the stairs until few weeks before she passed away. Actually, she could climb on her own, so it was that strong with Swami's grace, but not completely. She didn't regain the full strength. The thing is, the next morning again, 6 o'clock was our flight to Bangalore from Chennai. So we had to get up at 3 a.m. with jet lag, not having eaten. Mum was very, very tired. I was getting very worried, but she still wanted to go to Puttaparthi. So we got in, we came to airport, got the flight, arrived in Bangalore, took a taxi to Puttaparthi, and we had booked a hotel last minute with Swami's grace, Sai Heritage. We managed to get a room during a birthday time. It's very hard to get a room in Puttaparthi. And as soon as Mum got inside the room, she said, "I want to sleep because if I don't sleep today, I can't come for Swami's birthday tomorrow. I feel so unwell and tired." And she didn't feel like eating anything throughout, even on the flight. So I left Mum there, because all I was thinking is, it is convocation day, and I was thinking the convocation starts at 10 o'clock. I need to be there. It was already 9 o'clock. So I said, "Mum, okay, lie down. I'll come back. I'll go and come back." And I just went for darshan. And with again Swami's grace, I got the 5th row, where the older ladies will be sitting who live in Puttaparthi. I was just with them, right in front of Swami. And so I was very, very pleased, although I didn't come that early. But then I found out that the convocation starts only at 11 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock. So the convocation started. I was enjoying the first hour, and the Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh, was there. And he, because of the Prime Minister, there was huge security all around. And also his Prime Minister spoke after the convocation ceremony, and then Swami spoke. I was getting very, very panicky by 12:30. I thought, Mom, I hadn't eaten anything. There's no water. And, she was so unwell. I've left her thinking it'll be a couple of hours from 10 to 12. I'll go back, but it is 12:30 and I was still there. So worried about what is going to happen. And I was praying to Swami ardently, Swami, please, let Mom continue to sleep till I get there. That's what my prayers were. So about 1:30, the ceremony finished and I couldn't get out quickly because the crowd was such. And finally, just before 2, I got to the hotel room, knocked the door. Mom came and opened the door with all smiles. She looked very fresh. She had a shower and everything. I said, Mom, are you all right? You didn't even have water. I thought you were sleeping. I'll come back early. And she said, no, 10 o'clock, the room service brought the food, and a nice cup of coffee, it's a big mug. And they brought puris. I said, Mom, are you sure? But I didn't order any room service. There was nobody when I left because everybody had gone already for darshan from the hotel. There was no reception staff, nobody. I didn't order. They said, your daughter ordered room service, my mom said. And she showed me the plates and the big mug of, the coffee mug too. And then she had all that and they gave her a bottle of water to the waiter. And then I ran down to the reception and I said, who ordered this room service for Mom? They said, room service, no, our restaurants are closed till 7 p.m. We only open at 7 p.m. on Convocation Day and on Swami's birthday because all staff will be there for darshan. So we don't open the restaurants at all. There's no room service. They had a book, room service book, and they looked in that and there was no room service ordered for Mom. So I took them upstairs and showed them the plates and the mug. They said, no, this is not our hotel cutlery or crockery. This doesn't belong to us. So I was so thankful to Swami. Swami, you listened to my prayers. This was my first thought, because I asked you to save save my mom. You immediately sent her food. But then it occurred to me, I started praying to Swami at 12:30. But Mom had her breakfast at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it was Swami by himself. He has the love of 1,000 mothers. He's so compassionate. He was so busy with the convocation. He was so busy doing things, with the Prime Minister coming and everything. And at that hour, he managed to get food for Mom. And that evening, Mother was saying that we should actually have that coffee, see if they have the coffee in the restaurant. So 7 o'clock when we went to eat there, Mom ordered coffee and it was very different coffee. It's not the coffee that Swami gave her. So we knew it is Swami. There is no other way. He really, really looked after Mom. What else can I say, apart from being so thankful to Swami and to show my love for him? The thing is, we have very little faith. Even though I know Mom is very blessed by Swami on several occasions, I still had so much fear that Mom won't get food, she won't have the water, she won't have, that faith is, Swami says the fear is a very negative quality. It's a sign of selfishness and even ego, actually, that only we can do things. Not having faith in Swami, it's total lack of faith. And so we should just have the faith that Swami will protect us. He knows even before we realize what our problems are. That is why Swami always says, why fear when I'm here? Let us all move forward with full faith in Swami, who constantly is loving us and looking after us. Jai Sairam.
Thank you, Auntie. On behalf of Mill Hill Sai Centre, I'd like to extend our gratitude to Swami for sending you to us this morning so that you could share these amazing memories and experience with us. No doubt it was a wonderful trip down memory lane for you as well. Your mother's experience is no short of a miracle considering everything that she went through. And these experiences really highlight that it's important for us to keep faith and surrender everything to Swami, and he will dispel those fears for us. Jai Sairam.